Is this the JJ McCarthy game, guys? I think this is. I think this is the JJ McCarthy game. He went crazy in that fourth quarter. I mean, he was struggling for most of the game and just clearly didn't have it in the start. He was very conservative off the top. Well, KOC was conservative in his play calling off the top, but he clearly was just trying to feel it out through the first game. He looked a lot like a rookie making his first start, which essentially that is what he is. He's essentially a rookie quarterback. He never really played a full season. He didn't even get to play one game last year. So this was his first start, and he looked pretty good. He looked pretty good. Like he looked like there's a lot of stuff to work on. There's a lot of stuff to build upon. He went crazy. I mean, as far as his numbers were, 13 for 20, 143 yards, 7.2 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. That interception was bad. That was a bad interception, but he ended up making up for it as the game went on. So in his rating, he ended up with a 98.5 rating. It's pretty good game for him overall. Pretty much his debut. Pretty much his first. I mean, it was his debut. Pretty much his first game in the NFL. So he looked pretty good. And actually, I was really concerned with the conservativeness at first. And like, so many people like me were online and we were just messing around talking mess about JJ McCarthy, but that conservative approach that KOC took early in the game seemed like it actually really helped him settle down and just get comfortable with just playing, right? He was my fourth rated quarterback coming out of last year's draft, so I always believed in his ability, especially going over there with KOC. I just felt like that was a perfect pairing for him. Because he played in a similar system that was run heavy, play action heavy, and it just felt like something that could work with him. I remember when I first watched him, I thought first thing I thought was like, this is a perfect Shanahan system style quarterback, and that to me is how I saw him. And now he's with KOC, which is a similar system, not exactly the same, but a similar system, and it comes from that same tree, and it looked good. It took a while to get going, but it looked good. It looked like KOC was real comfortable with his quarterback, comfortable with him running his team. Him and Justin Jefferson clearly were not totally in sync off the rip, but they started, you could see it as the game went on, they started to get together. They started to understand it. And he was struggling early on, but he in that fourth quarter, which it's winning time. Fourth quarter is winning time. That's when he just turned it up and just started playing way better. He took 3 sacks, but to be honest, that Darisaw injury was hurting them early on in the game, especially with the Bears defensive line, which, by the way, that Bears defense is going to be pretty solid going forward, I think, especially that defensive line. They're going to be able to keep themselves in games just because of their defense. And he never got down, never got too high, never got too low, and just stayed steady and toughed it out. And then when it was time to win, he turned into, he was winning time. And that's what I want to see out of these young quarterbacks. I want to see, can they win in these moments? Can they run the system consistently? And then when the system is not working anymore, can they work outside of that, right? And JJ showed that. Someone who didn't show that, though, was Caleb. Caleb was actually my first ranked quarterback out of that draft, the 2024 draft. For me, it went Caleb, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and JJ McCarthy. That's how I had them rated for me. And I thought, and to be fair, that was a deep QB draft, so I thought all 4 of them were pretty darn good. But I felt, and JJ honestly was one of them that I really, really liked. And when he got drafted by the Vikings, I was like, that's a perfect choice. And I loved it. But I always was concerned with Caleb and where Caleb is going. And first, it was a concern because of just Matty Eberflus. I just didn't believe in Matty Eberflus or Shane Waldron or anything they had going on in the Bears. I thought he had really good weapons. And I thought it was the best situations weapons-wise, but it was a terrible situation coaching-wise. And there are a lot of issues that he had coming out of college that I just feel like because of that year with Eberflus, he's developed these bad habits, and he hasn't, or the things he was bad at, he hasn't really gotten better at. He's still rushing through his mechanics. His mechanics are off. He's rushing through the progression. He's not reading his guys quick enough, but then he's also reading them too fast. It's almost like it's like if something's not immediately opening, he's on to the next thing, and he's not like coming back to it. It's just like bam, bam, and then once he sees it, he throws it. Like there was this clear touchdown to DJ Moore that Troy Aikman called out on the broadcast, where it was like a little flat, and then DJ Moore was coming out for like a kind of like a fade goal to the corner, really. And it was gonna be wide open. If you saw it and you saw the corner basically take Zacchaeus out of the play, you saw that like that play that DJ Moore would have been wide open. It would have been a touchdown. And not only was he wide open, he takes too long to get to it. He's stuck on Zacchaeus, and then once he gets to it, he makes the throw, and he throws the ball like 10 feet out of range of where DJ Moore could even get it. So like he was just incredibly inaccurate tonight, which to me wasn't an issue in college. And when I went over his tape, his issue wasn't accuracy to me. His issue was progressions, mechanics, moving too fast in his mechanics, and just staying within the structure of a system. And it's like he would always make great plays outside of the structure, but he just couldn't stay within the structure long enough to really let it develop. And that worked in college, and you think to yourself, like, oh, he's going to get to the NFL, and he'll get a good quarterback coach that'll help him learn to do that to a higher degree. But he doesn't have that, and he hasn't had that since the beginning. And, you know, we love to put Ben Johnson on this pedestal because of what happened with Jared Goff and the Lions. And it's like, well, maybe, right? And I know the Lions struggled this week, too. We're going to talk about that later. But maybe Ben Johnson was good because he had a lot of good players. You know, like maybe he helped Jared Goff get better. Jared Goff got better, but maybe Jared Goff was also really good because it's not like Jared Goff wasn't a number one overall pick either. You know what I mean? You know, what if Amon-Ra St. Brown is really good? What, like, he had a lot of good players on that team, and for some reason, and he had those players going. He had those players playing really well. But for some reason here, he has the players, in my opinion. I think DJ Moore is really good. I think Caleb can be really good. I think Loveland. Colston Loveland. I can put his first and last name together. Colston Loveland is really good. I think they have the weapons. I think his system is just so reliant on the structure of it. And then they get into trick plays when the structure's not working. And I think Caleb doesn't. He's so much better outside of structure. And he seems to not really know how to play in the structure, or not really want to learn how to play in structure. Because I mean, at this point, he's been in the league. This is his second off season, and he still has the same issues that he had the first year he was in the league. I mean, or the issues that he had back in college. And he just seems to me like he's not growing. He doesn't know how to throw the ball away. He likes to play hero ball all the time. I just worry about his development. And I don't think anybody really developed him early on. And I mean, the stories we heard about him literally teaching himself. But then we got that hit piece that came out recently. I don't like that personally. I think most Bears fans seem to like kind of write that author off. And usually those guys are kind of just, you know, talking mess. But it just seems like he hasn't gotten better. Like he's just stuck in his ways. I think he can still be special, but he just needs to learn to play in structure, and it's not coming from him right now. That Bears defense is going to be really good. It's going to keep them in games, and hopefully that'll give Caleb the foundation to just kind of build his ability up. JJ McCarthy has the same thing. They got a really good defense, and I think he can keep getting better. He learned. You saw him learning in this game, right? I mean, both these young guys can be really good. I think if their defense can stay great, and if they are willing to learn, and I just wonder how willing Caleb is, especially after that first year. I also just think he has. This is something I've always. This has nothing to do with his ability or football, but it's just I always felt like his body language is always weird. You know, when he's sitting on the sideline and he ran around and he's just going, like, you know, like that always kind of stuck out to me as kind of like, I don't know if I want I don't know if I want to see my starting quarterback as a fan or as a head coach just kind of like doing what like a 6-year-old does when they want to go home. You know what I mean? Like, it's not saying that that's what he's doing, not saying he's a 6-year-old. It's just that's how it looks. You know, like, I don't know what's going in his head. I have no clue. I'm not saying anything that he's doing. But it's just that's just how it's perceived, right? And that's how it looks when he's doing it to me. But he's got the weapons. I mean, DeAndre Swift was running his ass off today. 17 carries, 53 yards. I thought he was played really well. DJ Moore is still quite good. You know, Lamine Saki is solid. You know, Rome Odunze was playing really well. Him and Rome seem to have like they're starting to build a bit of a connection. And Colston Loveland had that. Cole Kmet had that crazy catch. That was a beautiful catch. I think he's got good weapons. It's just they need to learn what they want to do with them and how they fit in this Ben Johnson system. And I also don't know if Ben Johnson's the right coach for him because again, he's also one of those like Shanahan-like guys. You know that. People want to turn to the next Sean McVay. They want the brilliant genius coach that's going to change everything. And it's like, I don't really see that in Ben Johnson personally. I think he's a guy who had a lot of good players around him, and he's a really good play caller. I don't know how much I see him as a head coach, but we'll see. I know he was the big guy that everybody wanted for a while, and now he's on the Bears, and he already kind of looks like he's regretting the job. You know, he's regretting taking it. But there's no reason to panic, Bears fans. This is just watch. I'm more concerned about the coach. Honestly, I'm more concerned about the quarterback than I am about the coach right now. But I'm more concerned about, is this going to allow the Bears ownership and front office to let Ben Johnson figure this out or try to figure this out? Can Ben Johnson even figure it out? Because, again, I have questions about his ability to lead personally. So we'll see with that. The Vikings look really good. They still look like the Vikings to me. J.J. McCarthy, to me, was just kind of figuring things out. And Justin Jefferson, Jay Jettis still looks great. Jordan Mason looks really good for them coming over from San Francisco. He had 15 carries for 68 yards here, right? He was averaging 4.5 yards per carry. That's pretty good. I think he looks good. I think him and Aaron Jones felt like a good 1-2 punch right there. I think the Vikings have a lot to build upon, and they won the division last year. Yeah, they won the division last year, so I think they can do it. I'm not so sure, how much of the ups and downs that they're going to get with J.J. McCarthy. I do love J.J. McCarthy. I think he'll be fine, but this is not going to be the first game where it's going to be like this, where we're going to be like, what the hell is he doing? And then he shows up in the fourth quarter. Can that be sustainable? Can that be sustainable? Probably not. So at some point, JJ does have to get, together, but we'll see how long it takes him to get there. And, that's kind of really it. I felt like the Bears defense did really well. And I think at a certain point, they just needed their offense to score more points earlier than when they started scoring more points. And I think the Vikings defense struggled early on and then tightened up. And they're a big boom or bust defense too. Like, they're going to make big plays. They're going to get turnovers. They're going to do things like that. But they're also going to give up big plays as well, And, the final stat line, when you look at Caleb he was 21 for 35. What's that completion percentage average out to? So that's about a 60% completion percentage. So I mean, he didn't do terribly. Caleb is just more of like he's just searching for the big play too much, and he's not playing within structure, and his mechanics are sped up, and he's rushing, and this is just he's rushing, but he's also too late on throws, and this is just all the same issues that he's had since college, and they don't seem to be getting better, and I don't think Ben Johnson is the right coach for that. We're talking about a guy who only took the job because he thought it was the right situation for him to win immediately. So if this kid is not winning immediately, I don't know how long he's going to commit himself to a Caleb Williams if he's not winning. You know, he doesn't care about first round picks or anything like that, right? So I don't know. It just feels like a recipe for disaster right now, but we'll see how it progresses. I think Caleb can be better, but we'll see. That's pretty much all I really had for this game. This game was it was pretty good. It was up and down. It was more of like watching mistakes. It was like the total opposite of last night's game, where it was just like two great quarterbacks just going crazy. And then this one was more like two young quarterbacks playing like crap in different parts of the game. Like Caleb played well early on and then played like crap later. And then JJ played like crap early on and then played really, really well later. It's kind of more like that. And yeah, solid game. It's fun to watch. I'm definitely we're definitely going to be doing these primetime reactions. This is fun. It's a lot of fun. I got my week one takeaways coming up. I'm going to have that out. I'm trying midday tomorrow. I should be able to film that pretty quick. It's just gonna be a fun season. This is the end of week one, and we just keep getting bangers though. We're getting fun games with fun endings, and I just love the NFL is undefeated, man. The NFL is king when it comes to like entertaining sports. Yeah, I'm just having a great time. But talk to you guys again soon. Go Birds forever.